This race is brought to you by Protexol, proud sponsor of the SVT Renegade Racing League. Join our live broadcast every Sunday on the Slide Job Racing Network. Season 3 is underway now. Our lobby opens at 6:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and racing begins at 7. For more information about the league or to join, follow SVT Renegade Racing on Facebook. Protexol. It delivers, people act. Visit Protexol.com to learn more. Enjoy tonight's race.
4 races to go in the SVT Gen 6 Renegade Racing League season. We head to the track where everything is bigger. Legacy Texas Motor Speedway for round number 9. We're so glad you could join us on the Slide Job Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you. Qualifying currently underway at the moment. Well, last week we had our second two-time winner of the season. That, of course, was Michael Casey taking the checkered flag in the series return to the Texas Motor Speedway. We should be in, though, for a fun one, as, of course, we are on the original Texas Motor Speedway and not the new version of Texas Motor Speedway. So what does that mean? Got a good feeling you're going to see some multi-groove, bad, fast racing. As qualifying takes place right now as we speak, let's give you how the point standings are coming on in. Now, they have not updated the bonus points just yet, but here's how everything looks. Dalton Steele comes in with an 18-point advantage on Mark Morton. Michael Casey is also tied for second with Morton, so he's 18 points back. That seems to be the battle for the championship as we now start to go into the home stretch of the season. Another key storyline we have to talk about coming on into the weekend as we pull up the qualifying times here. The fact that starting today, going on into these next few races, pretty much every race will be set for 120 laps. So they have increased the amount of laps, as you just saw a pole lap from Mark Morton with a great time of 28.68. But every race from here on out will be set for 120 laps. That should make this a lot of fun. Greg Jolly coming across the start-finish line to complete his second lap. And Jolly goes fourth quick, 28.78, one of his best laps he has had of the season. And now we go to the 45 of Dalton Steele, who is going to be doing just one lap of qualifying. This is all or nothing, so currently doesn't have the pole position right now as he's green in Sector 1. As he makes his way to the checkered flag, it's green all around. I don't think this is a pole lap. It's fourth quick, 28.77. So Mark Morton is your pole sitter for tonight. And as the field starts to grid up, let's take a look at your starting lineup for tonight's race. On the pole position, it's Mark Morton in car number 48. Morton's lap time, correction. Had the wrong grid there, but anyway, as we were saying on the pole, Mark Morton in car number 48. His pole time, a 28.681. Next to him, it's Michael Casey in car number 6. Row 2, it's the 58 of Johnny Hurst, and next to him, it's the 45 of Dalton Steele. Row 3, Greg Jolly in the number 13, next to Paul Helms in the 64. And in row number 4, Chris Ramsey in the number 4, and Jeff Scott in car number 38. Rounding out your top 10, James Wagner in the 30. Next to him, it's Jonathan Vandenberg in the 26. Row 6, it's Peter Hartman in the 12, next to Bradley Worley in the 88. Row number 7, Richard Hartman the 3rd in the 52, next to Jacob Plank in the 153. And in row 8, Chris Melton in the 49, and Stephen Shue in the 00. Rounding out the field this evening, Brandon Hinton in car number 50. And Jeffrey Ledford in the 01. Just waiting for one more driver to grid up. We'll assume that is Dalton Steele, and now he is gridded up. The field is getting set to get rolling. And here is a look at your race analysis for today. As we mentioned, 120 laps, which means today's race is set for 180 miles. I believe we've got that correct. Let's double check here. We don't know mental math that well here. We did get that right, 180 miles. Field window set for 65 laps. All the drivers with 6 sets of tires. And finally, one quick repair that every driver has this evening. Again, glad you could join us on Slide Job Racing Network. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Hello to Dan Brothers, rooting for the number 88 of Bradley Worley. We should have a good one. Let's see if we can reach 20 viewers by the end of the night. Last weekend, I took part in the Roar Before the 24. We did a live stream of that. You can check that out in our live section. It is up on demand. You can watch that when we get done. Well, the field is set to make their way off of turn number 4, and it'll be in the hands of Mark Morton and Michael Casey when we go green. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? We're in the Lone Star State of Texas Motor Speedway. It's showtime. Mark Morton with the advantage as the field makes their way into turn number 3. A great qualifying run for Greg Jolly, and it's helping him out even more. He makes his way up to second, but nearly goes up the racetrack. James Wagner underneath as he wants to take the 3rd spot. Lap 1 on the boards, led by the 48 of Mark Morton. And he has a good gap, half-second advantage. It's the biggest gap anyone has. As you see, Jolly got a little bit squirrely. The car bottomed out in the middle groove of turn 2. But he hangs on to it as the field tries to spread out 2 wide, sometimes 3 wide on occasion. James Wagner looking for a run underneath. Great start from him. He started in 9th and has made its way up into the 4th position. Quickest car on track currently, Mike Casey in that number 6. A 28.54. Then it was Johnny Hurst, a 28.35. Hurst was one of the drivers that decided not to make an attempt at qualifying. We have issues with Peter Harmon. I believe his internet's having issues right now as we speak. A couple of drivers did have to go to the back of the field. Johnny Hurst in the 58, as well as Chris Ramsey in the 4. Hurst making his way up through the field, and he is racking off some quick laps in that Valvoline 58. 28.35, best lap of anyone right now as we speak. Makes his way past Jacob Plank to take away 13th. Everyone single file at the moment, just trying to get a good feel for their car. This is an abrasive surface too, let's keep that in mind. So tire wear will be key. James Wagner takes away the 3rd spot. Let's ride on board with the 38 of Jeff Scott. About 185 miles an hour to turn number 1, and as you see, Jolly and Wagner nearly touch. Saw there, he had to back out of it too. Scott looking for that first win of the season. New fastest lap goes to Jeff Ledford in the 01 with a 28.32. Wagner nearly touched the apron as you're riding on board with him again. You see as well, at the same time, we do have a race for the lead breaking out between Mike Casey and Mark Morton. So a couple of good races on our hands happening near the front. See Morton, Casey for the lead, and Scott up the racetrack, clips the 13 of Jolly, who dirt tracks it and makes a great save. That stacked the field up. Now here comes Dalton Steele, shallow entry into turn number 3. Looks for the 5th position. Jolly was able to hang on and keep 4th. Lost some time to the 30 of Wagner without question. But this has stacked the field up for sure. Bradley Worley making his sights known on Jeff Scott for 6th. About that 00, Stephen Shue Qualified 16th. He's up to 9th. Now looks for 8th on Vandenberg. Believe if I recall correctly, new colors under that number 26 with the Harley-Davidson colors. Believe this means he is now teammates with Greg Jolly. I don't know, and shoe is sideways. He's on the apron. Up the hill he goes. Great recovery from the Mountain Dew Gimme Feel ride. Him and Ledford racing part-time with us this season, the two teammates. Of course, Jeff Ledford has a win this season at Auto Club Speedway. Our third race of the season, if not fourth. But now we start to have a three-car race for the top spot. James Wagner in that third position. Because the top two have been nose to tail, this has allowed the number 30 to close in. Caution's out. First yellow of the day, and we see some smoke. Is that off of Greg Jolly in the 13? It is. The man that qualified 5th. From the looks of it, seemed to have caused the first yellow of today's race. See what happened here in real time. Got turned. Looks of it off of Dalton Steele. You did see Worley gather that as well. And Richard Hartman, the third, with a big moment. See if we can watch this in slow motion from another angle. Yep, Steele just barely caught the number 13. And everybody has to take evasive action. You saw Worley catch a piece of it. Now again, like I said, look how close to Hartman getting involved in this. Right there, man. He may have even gotten 4X from that. I don't know, though. See, that's how close it was. Couple of drivers assigned to pit and top off on fuel. Our front row will be Mark Morton and Michael Casey when we come back to green. Our first caution out on lap 12. Stay with us on Slide Job Racing Network.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Smooth sculpted lines, impressive hardware, aggressive stance. It can only mean one thing. 'Tis the season to get out and tailgate. Right now at every Bob Johnson, buy any new or used truck, we'll throw in a Mafia-ready folding table absolutely free. Bob Johnson, this is where the savings are.
Bob Johnson.
We start with fresh, never frozen ground beef, follow it with our homemade meat hot sauce, and finish it with your choice of toppings, always made to order. Our world's greatest cheeseburgers will make you say,
Gimme, 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 feel great.
Hi, my name is Henry, and I want to welcome you to Batavia Downs Gaming. We want you to love it, not just like it here. We went to our customers and asked them what we can do better. You said you wanted a hotel, so we built one. More and better food. We did that too. A separate place to smoke and play? We even did that. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel is the right size with the right people in the right location. Batavia Downs Gaming. Come here to dine, stay, and play.
We're back here on Slide Job Racing Network. I wanted to show you as well Bradley Worley. This is from the same angle, just off a different car, and we'll pull up the telestrator here after he gets off this wall. You can see right there. Oh, kind of missed our opportunity there, but you see there that little scuff on the number 88. Definitely did bite that race car pretty good. So he did go on to pit road. In case anybody is wondering, not sure if he did use a quick repair. But again, first caution flag is out. Here's how the restart looks when we come back to green. Mark Morton, Michael Casey, row 1. James Wagner, Jeff Scott, row 2. Paul Helms, Jonathan Vandenberg, row 3. Johnny Hurst, Chris Ramsey, row 4. Stephen Shue and Bradley Worley round out the top 10 as we're set to go back to the green flag. Not sure if Michael Casey did take the lead at the start-finish line, but did time the restart well on the 48. Now did James Wagner take a risk underneath? Thought for a moment he took it 3 wide. He stayed tucked behind the front row. And Morton hangs on for right now. Top 5 drivers, all single file at this point. Here's a run for Ledford, challenging Helms for 6th. Nice move from Ledford as Helms pretty much out of the racing groove. And so the Auto Club winner is up to 6th. Now he wants 5th on Jeff Scott. Started from last position. Decided not to qualify, and now he goes high, wide, and handsome to break into the top 5 for the first time today. Now Ledford, too, was one of those drivers that did decide to pit, so he does have 11 laps of fresher tires. Oh, trouble. Worley hard to the inside wall. Collects Peter Hartman. Second yellow flag is out. Big lick on the Realtree 88. The damage was done. Now it has been done. I don't know if that's a paint scheme or not, but that is a toasted up hood, and Bradley Worley has called it a night. I believe he had already used the quick repair from the wall damage. Let's take a look at what happened to Worley. Did he get loose or did Jolly clip him? Jolly, I think, hit Vandenberg, and that is a big time lick. You see Peter Hartman involved as well. Major collision. Thank goodness that safer barrier was there too. Do have the leaders, by the way, coming in. Oh, watch this. Ouch! Just barely at the ending too. Give it up as well for TrackCams by Gourmet from providing us with awesome camera angles. Every week, awesome camera shots. Everything gone off that ride. Unfortunately, we don't have Bradley Worley with us, so we will not be able to talk with him. Our top, while we were at our top 6 drivers decide to stay out. Leaders all made it on down pit road. Mark Morton, Michael Casey, James Wagner, Jeff Scott, Stephen Shue, the top 5. 2 drivers have yet to come on to pit road. And that's Johnny Hurst and Paul Helms. And we're going to see here if we can talk with one of those drivers up near the front, or you know what, we may talk with Mark Morton. Let's talk with Morton here at the moment as you see Jolly and Plank decide to come on to pit road. Let's talk with the Roughneck 48 while we are at it. Mark, it's Marty up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Marty?
Doing good, man. Doing good. So, off to a good start. You've led all the green flag laps so far. That's from the looks of it, it's going to change when we come back to the restart. But how's the car feeling early on?
She feels great. I absolutely got her hooked up. It's like she's riding on real rails. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Any adjustments you may have made under that first pit stop, or just picture perfect right now?
Honestly, she's picture perfect. I don't want to give away all my secrets, but I'm glad it's this Texas, not the newer one, because I probably would have been struggling a lot. Definitely would have been struggling, but I mean, she's just got her hooked up like a dream. She's feeling good, she's running good, and she's looking good.
You would have been struggling like the Dallas Cowboys, that's for sure. So.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes, absolutely. Good luck out there, man. Best of luck.
I appreciate it, bud. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's Mark Morton, currently scored in the 5th position as things stand. All right, we're coming back to green here. Let's see here. Hello to Johnny and Renee, and Levi rooting for Mike Casey. Dan Brothers say was excited to see the 88 move up the board, then a dirty move. Pete, I'm not in charge of that, so I don't have the answer for you on why the drivers have so many tires. But I like it because late in the race it has that strategy. If we have a long run, provides the question if you want to stay out or pit for fresher tires when you go back to green. So, but here's how the restart looks. Again, top 5 stayed out, top 4 stayed out. Johnny Ledford, Johnny Hurst, row 1. Richard Hartman, Paul Helms, row 2. Mark Morton, Mike Casey, row 3. James Wagner, Jeff Scott, row 4. Stephen Shue and Chris Ramsey round out the top 10. Put 21 laps here on the board. Ledford, good jump on the 58. But again, watch row number 3 closely. Hurst, though, cuts in front of Helms to hold on to P2. Here comes Morton, though, with those fresh tires. Up to 3rd, and Michael Casey is getting held back by that 52. Look how many spots that Casey has lost. Hanging on to a top 10 spot, but shuts the door on Chris Ramsey to keep it for now. Underneath that 52 of Richard Hartman for the 9th position and able to take it away. 2 by 2 in front of him now. Morton is all over Ledford for the lead. Hey, Baja Blast, you got company. I think Ledford just let him take the bottom side and go back out to the front of the field. And like Morton said, this is a picture-perfect car. Hang on, James Wagner. A little bit squirrely off for turn 2, and Ledford was squirrely. Look at the sparks flying as the front end is dragging on the asphalt. And that's your race for 2nd position. Dalton still trying to thread the needle. Now he slams the door on Jeff Scott. That's tight racing for 4th. He's got his eyes set on the podium. Still the points leader coming into today, looking for that first win of the season. Has an average finish of between 3rd and 4th, and he's come so close so many times to scoring a win. It reminds you of, if you're a fan of Land of Legends Raceway in Canandaigua, kind of reminds you of the top 5 in big block points this year, or specifically for Justin Hares, the track champion in the modifieds. I cover a lot of that in Canandaigua, so. Steele looking for third. You saw Ledford bobble. The 45 on the podium as of now for the first time tonight. Ooh, but Ledford trying to side draft off of him. You see as well for that 30 of Wagoner also sparking. From first to ninth at the moment, separated by 9/10 of a second. How about that for this race early on? Good start to this one at Texas Motor Speedway. Ledford, though, on 7 laps of worn tires, still fighting back. And now the field pretty much single file for right now. Just look how tight it is. It is so tight. You could try and bump draft someone in the corners easily. But you don't want to, or else you're going to wreck yourself. But that's how the front 9 look on track. Well, the front 8. You can see Ramsey's cut out of the picture. There we go. There's Ramsey. And now Michael Casey underneath for 4th. Here comes Shu to give a bump draft to his teammate. Give the 0-1 some momentum. Jeff Scott also a part of this too. Ledford can't cut down low. That would have been really tight to see. At this point, when you see the front end dragging out of the racetrack, if you see it laying the go and the tires could definitely get used up, could mean a tight race car possibly. So, and with the fixed setup, what this is really all about is not only just, saving your tires, but also adjusting your brake bias at times, especially when we get into a long run. That can help you out from time to time. You see Scott wash up the hill. Could help out Ramsey look for 7th in that 4 car. Oh, and you saw Ledford get really wide off it too. I don't know if he pinched the wall, but that he's all good. Let's go to the fight for the lead. Actually, let's not. 3 wide for 6th. Oh, Scott turned off the bumper of Ramsey. Yellow flag is out. And luckily, nobody hits him. No damage off that 38. Did see Greg Jolly go through the grass. We've got some extra contact to that too. Let's watch that in real time here for you. Just see it right there. It was Ledford that caught the wall correction. There you see Jolly make the pass to the grass. And let's ride on board with him. And good for him as well to back up into the infield just in case anyone was coming by. Do you have some drivers coming down pit road led by Jeffrey Ledford? See who wins the race off pit road, and from the looks of it, it's Johnny Hurst. Ledford having a longer stop after the scrape. Helms, Ledford, Scott. Look as well a little bit closely. I think I see the fenders or the toe a little bit flawed out. See right there on that right side. That's out a little bit more. Don't know if it was from contact earlier with the wall or not. So let's talk to another driver while we're at it. Let's see if we can bring in, if he is in the chat. And he is, as we have Hartman and Plank coming on to pit road. Let's bring in James Wagoner in the number 30 and talk with him. James, it's Marty in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
Alrighty, so Mark was telling us earlier that his car was like it's on rails. Obviously, you two are teammates. Is your car on rails too as things stand?
Oh yeah, it's. I got a fast car tonight, so I'm just going to try to save a little bit too as well. So.
Has he given you on any advice to, like how to drive the car differently right now, or how to, maybe keep up with him or at some points?
Nah, we just run our own race.
Sounds good.
Just working together. That's about it.
Well, obviously, it's really early in the race. How do you look at it going later on, possibly if it's long term? Because obviously, this is a track with some abrasive asphalt.
Yeah, I think later on it's going to get a little crazy, but I don't know. I guess we'll just wait and see.
Alrighty. Well, best of luck in the rest of this one, and hopefully we see you on the podium, or if not, in victory lane.
Yep, I appreciate you.
All right. James Wagner in the number 30, currently running in the second position, as this should be 1 lap to green, and it is. We'll double the field up. Like I said, it's Roughneck 1-2. Jeff Scott was just involved in that last accident. And so because of that, that put him back a little bit. Alrighty. Third caution just about set to expire. Mark Morton, James Wagner, row 1. Dalton Steele, Michael Casey, row 2. Stephen Shue, Chris Ramsey, row 3. Greg Jolly, Jonathan Vandenberg, row 4. And it's Johnny Hurst, Paul Helms that round out the top 10. "35 laps complete in this one at Texas. Martin able to hold serve, but James Wagner may have company from Dalton Steele as the 30 follows his teammate. Looks for the banking for momentum off of turn 2. That may actually help at some points. And Wagner was able to clear Steele. Here comes Casey around the outside of the 45. Robert, thanks for checking in. We are definitely having a fantastic weekend staying inside with no snow. Oh, Jolly kisses the wall pretty good. He's losing a couple spots. Is there any damage on that ride? I think I saw some fender damage barely. You can see how that fender has a little bit of a scuff to it. Maybe if we pull the telestrator back up, this would show us. See that scuff right there? Oh. This is a new telestrator, by the way. We're still trying things out, working out the kinks to things. Let's go back to the race for third. Steele and Casey. Great pass for the 6. High side off of 2 worked for him. Now Hurst with an opening on his teammate for 4th. Johnny Hurst, our Daytona winner earlier this season. To see him running up there. Peter Hartman has spun off at turn 4. No caution as he's off the racetrack. Now we watch back up to the front of the field as look at Johnny Hurst go. Now he pitted underneath that last caution, so he has a lot of fresh rubber to his advantage. Looks low on Wagner, baby. Nearly went up the hill. Him and Jeffrey Ledford the ones to watch here as they both pitted on lap 32. Jacob Plank, Richard Hartman also pitted, but they are not at the same pace as the former two are. Look at the run by Johnny Hurst. It's like he's going full throttle there I can still hold on to it. Let's ride on board with that 58. I only hear him letting off 3 times in the center of the corner. Other than that, that's it. We're hearing Peter Hartman has crashed once again. Here are the last 5 laps between Hurst and Morton. Just look at the advantage there. Here we go for the lead. As Hurst is low, and you've got a new leader possibly at Texas. As Wagner is still in 3rd, 3 wide for 4th behind them with Steele in the middle. So now he tucks her out of line. Believe our first green flag pass for the lead. Since Morton got past Ledford. And Hurst has checked out the hotel. Casey tried to go low, but would have gotten turned off the fender of Jeff Ledford. As the 0-1 sends it in. Up to 4th on those fresh rubbers. For 3rd on Wagner. What a pass by the 0-1. And my goodness, look how much he closed in on Morton. And just look at it now. He is basically checked out from 4th on back. And we are about 10, 11 laps into this run. We got trouble. Jonathan Vandenberg off track as he is off the pace. That keeps it going. He's lost a lot of time without question. Let's go back up to the racing on the track for 4th. Wagner, Casey, and Steele. Paul Helms also a part of it. We haven't talked about Helms today. Started in 6th. Very quiet amongst the drivers in the top 10. Nice to see him running with some of the top drivers in the series. And now you watch Casey try to get 4th on Wagner. So he takes it away. Dalton Steele underneath. So everyone single file. It's still Johnny Hurst. Your leader, and the opponents behind him are just a dot in the rearview mirror. 1.1 seconds between him and Jeffrey Ledford. An astonishing gap. Let's see if we have any other racing throughout the pack. Jeff Scott and Chris Ramsey for 11th. Ramsey recovering, trying to recover after he caused the 3rd caution in the race. Jeff Scott just got past him for 11th. Now he is starting to pull away. Let's go back to that race for 4th position. As this is right now the best race that we have on the track. Stephen Shue trying to get in the midst of things here too. We are actually as well, something to keep in mind too, we are about 5 laps away from the fuel window opening for the final stops, where you could make it the distance should this race go to regulation. As you see Wagner sideways, here comes Helms to take away 6th. You probably want to give yourself, a couple extra laps, like probably wait until lap 70 or so for the fuel window to officially open, should we have 2 attempts at the green-white checkered. But I got a good feeling that the drivers are going to go the entire way here on this fuel stint. So which means we would expect for your front 2 to pit at around lap 97 or so. As for the drivers from Mark Morton Michael Casey, Dalton Steele, James Wagner, Stephen Shue. Would expect them around lap 83 or so. This gap, though, is closing down between Hurst and Ledford. I don't know what's going on with this double fit that's 58, if he used his tires up too much, but Ledford looking for the race lead, and he takes it away. That was something that was very strange that was happening. Here's a look at the gap from 1st to 7th. Just look how much that closed down. That's a big amount. So it's Jeffrey Ledford back out in front in the number 01, your 5th lead change of the day as things stand. Back up here, Paul Helms. Now, something to keep in mind as well, he also pitted on lap number 32, so he's been making his way up to the field as he has cracked the top 5 for the first time today. Everyone all pretty much just single-filed, bunched out throughout the field. Also got another race developing for 8th, a pair of drivers we've yet to talk about today. Jacob Plank and Chris Melton, they are also up there near the front of the pack at Kentucky last week. They're each up 6 spots. Plank started 14th, Melton started in 15th. They are trying to close in on 7th onward, and they have the fresher tires. Here comes Casey on Morton. Now, Casey's really known, even if you're on the same amount of tires, he's well known for having a car that's really good on the long run. So that is something that we should keep in mind in this race. And again, banking off a turn 2 with the high side. Huge at Texas. 3 and 4, you want to be running low. Comes as a sign. Let's see if this banking can work. This is what it looks like in car with a 64. Actually has company. Here comes Steele on that 45. You see how much he has to let off. The 2x2 racing has happened once again. And now, both Plank and Melton have approached the dance floor. Plank past Wagner for 7th. Big run once again for Plank on Steele this time. Oh, that's tight. I almost thought Plank was going to door Dalton Steele, and that could have ended ugly just like it did for Dalton Steele at Kentucky last week when racing for the win at the time. Big run for the Fit 64 of Helms. 3rd spot. All his. Oh, and there's 3 wide behind them with Casey in the middle. This is for 5th. Plank and Melton working together on the fresh tires. Plank nearly has to go through the lawn. Casey shuts the door on Plank. And now Melton and Plank get door to door. Gotta find a way to settle this soon, boys. Morton fighting back on Helms for 3rd. Ooh, look out. Helms shut the door on the 48, and also Casey, Melton, and Plank nearly got together. We're at 16 viewers. Awesome to see, gang. Let's see if we can hit 20 by the end of the night. Great to see a lot of you tuned in as Melton gets loose off for 2. 3 wide this time with Steele in the middle. Melton through to 5th. Casey and Steele touch. But Casey luckily off the throw to hang on to it. Back to 8th he goes. And now the fresh tires are coming in for everyone that just pitted. Not with the drivers that stayed out on lap, that stayed out underneath the last caution wanted to see. But they will get to pit first, so they will have the fresher tires. While the top 3 will have to continue their quest in staying out. Melton low on Morton for the 4th position. So while we are at it, Jeffrey Ledford, your race leader, 1.7 second advantage. I'm going to shut up. You guys turn up the volume. It's time to crank it up here at Texas. Melton trying to get a run on Paul Helms for the 3rd position, and it may come here. Keeping you on this onboard camera because we love it, especially when the drivers go side by side, and that's tight off for 2. Best race on track for 3rd. They're using up their tires, allowing Steele to close in fast. And now Helms and company, they are starting to approach Johnny Hurst for the 2nd spot. Here's a look at the time delta this last 10 laps or so. That or Hurst is just trying to save as much as he can. 3 wide this time with Casey in the middle. Leaders were working on Greg Jolly, and Plank touched the apron, nearly went up the track. Good car control for the 153, but does allow Casey to take away 6th. And again, a reminder, here's a look at the pit strategy. A lot of mixed bags happening on the track as we speak. And you have 2nd all the way from 7th, all under a blanket. Melton still looking for the podium on Helms. Here comes the 64. Hurst decided to get the higher line off for 2, but I don't think that worked out too well. It may have, but he can't shut the door on Helms because he pulled up there. And the 64 is up to 2nd. I believe, if I recall correctly, this is the highest position he's ever been in an intermediate race on a green flag run, and that was just about tight. It was a jam session between Plank and Melton, and they touch once again. Everybody wheeling and dealing at the Lone Star State. This is the better action that's happening here tonight in Texas than at AT&T Stadium. When they nearly rub out another again. Hurst hanging on for dear life for second. Plank wants it badly. Somebody fund this man. And you saw there in the background, just barely, you saw that little dot in the background. That was the 0-1 of Jeffrey Ledford. I mean, just take a look at this gap right there. I mean, the drivers here, they want a race, but if we circle it, biggest gap the leader has had in this race today, without question. And keep in mind as well, we are expecting the ones that stayed out, which are from 5th on back, in about 10 laps from now. Casey looking for 4th on Johnny Hurst. Hurst may have used up the tires really good. And Mark Morton, by the way, in that 48, he's the first to bring everybody down pit road of the drivers that have yet to pit. Or, well, that stayed out at least. With that said, if we can remember where it is, I do want to bring up the map and show you where your favorite driver is on track. You see Greg Jolly also in the number 13. 4 tires in field without question for the Lowe's for Pros ride as he burns him out on pit road. Going back to the race for the 3rd position. This is Melton and Hurst. Should tell you as well, Jacob Plank has closed that gap down just a bit. We said it was 3.3 seconds at one time. Plank has closed it down to a little bit to 2.4 seconds, but got to be aware that Melton is behind him, though. And everybody's hanging on for dear life, especially Johnny Hurst. He may be due for another stop soon, but he's got more fuel in the tank compared to Michael Casey. How about Brandon Hinton in the number 50? Completely quiet last week and has made his way up to 5th. Can't even remember if it's his first start of the season or not. James Wagner in the 30 now on pit road. Focus on his stop, 4 tires and fuel. For the Wagners, welding number 30. But I make sure as long as you don't speed, you're all good. And there he goes, out and away. Great stop for him. We're back to the race for 4th between Casey, Hinton, and Helms. Highest spot, by the way, that Hinton has been in today. He started all the way from 17th. And that lead is closing down big time for Jacob Plank. Here's the time delta for Ledford, and it's closing fast. You saw the peak was a little while ago, but it's at 1.36 seconds now. And if you're keeping score at home, here's a look at the lap times. Last 5 laps, Plank has been faster. 10th place car is in Steven Shue. He was about to go, if I recall correctly, a lap down by Ledford. You did see the 00 did overshoot his sign. So back to fourth. Comes really high up that hill. So hitting up to fourth as we see the leader on pit road. Very surprised to see Jeffrey Ledford come in, but I got a feeling at the same time that he wants to be on pace with the leaders. He doesn't want to have anything happen where the guys that are already pitting are closing in on him fast. I think he wants to be up there matching with the leaders. Use up another set of tires. 4 tires for the 01, and he's away. So, our 4th different leader of the race. You're on board with him, the 153 of Jake Plank. Now, it's interesting to see Ledford coming in and pit. Will the front 3, Plank, Melton, and Hinton, decide to do that? Ramsey back on pit road. I'm not sure if he's sped or not. Nope, he is going for 4 tires. Back to 4th, Casey and Helms. This is the action we're watching. Melton's in. So he joins Ledford. Come on pit road. Now keep in mind, final stops of the race underway. So at the same time, I kind of like the strategy that Ledford and Melton are trying out. You see Steele on pit road as well. Michael Casey also into the 6. Dalton Steele out with a 15.45. Take you back to the number 6 of Casey. Oh man, really cooked it. Pit box number 1 he was up to. And that is going to cost him big time. Valuable spots lost. Richard Hartman III now on pit road. As Casey is out, 15.82. But a 43.68 on pit road. That's about 4 to 5 seconds longer on the road compared to everybody else. It's a lead for Jacob Plank, 3.8 seconds on Brandon Hinton. We've yet to see the top 4 come in Plank, Hinton, Helms, and Hurst. So they are planning on stretching it as long as they can to try and have the fresher tires at the end. If they, though, do get a caution, they will be the big winners in this because they'll have fresher tires and be in front of the drivers that had pitted underneath this green flag cycle. And now we see Hinton coming in the 50. For and fuel, leader is in. Leader is in. Jacob Plank on pit road. And the new leader is Paul Helms. Johnny Hurst also on pit road. So Paul Helms, when he makes his stop, he will have the freshest tires of everybody. And Plank out of pit road with a 14.87. You see Hurst in his box right now. Four and gone. So now we just wait on Paul Helms to come in. And on worn tires, he's out running 30.86s. The freshest tires are 29.15 to 29.6, and Helms now knows that he's coming down pit road. Final stop, final mandatory stop at least, is underway for the leader. So who will be the leader? All things happen. From the looks of it, it's going to be Jeffrey Ledford, who's in turn 3 and on the lead lap. So Ledford back out front. Now Helms will have the freshest tires of everyone. See if that can play out. If we do go green the rest of the race, that could possibly help him, but he'll likely need a caution flag. Jeff Scott and Dalton Steele for 6, the fresher tires, the 45. Scott has yet to pit on, he pitted on lap number 51, so and he had a good car early on. Now Scott decides to bring it onto pit road. And he cooked them up, maybe a speeding penalty for the 38. While we were at it, let's get a word from our official sponsor, Protexol.
Enterprises, just like race teams, know when something is broken. They simply cannot meet their expectations. They've tried countless things, and though they sometimes yield small improvements, they eventually fail. Now what? Protexol has spent 35 years building a superior enterprise performance solution. COPS, Continuous Operational Process Synergy. COPS is the #1 strategy for client-owned, top-to-bottom, front-to-back enterprises and race teams to achieve exponential performance. Organizations, like race teams, use COPS as the backbone to win. Everything from car design, engines, pit stops, races, and championships to market segment dominance. COPS equals winning? Yes, it really is that simple. So let me ask you a question. Do you want to be a leader or a follower? If your answer is a leader, then there is only one choice. COPS from Protexol. Visit Protexol.com to learn more.
Under 30 laps to go. And because of the long run and the fresher tires, the advantage in this race today has gone to the number 01 of Jeffrey Ledford. Going to step aside and take one more break to pay the sponsors. When we come back, we're taking to the finish. 25 to go next time by. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Smooth sculpted lines, impressive hardware, aggressive stance. It can only mean one thing. 'Tis the season to get out and tailgate. Right now at every Bob Johnson, buy any new or used truck, we'll throw in a Mafia-ready folding table absolutely free. Bob Johnson, this is where the savings are.
Bob Johnson.
We start with fresh, never frozen ground beef, follow it with our homemade meat hot sauce, and finish it with your choice of toppings, always made to order. Our world's greatest cheeseburgers will make you say,
Gimme, feel great.
Hi, my name is Henry, and I want to welcome you to Batavia Downs Gaming. We want you to love it, not just like it here. We went to our customers and asked them what we can do better. You said you wanted a hotel, so we built one. More and better food. We did that too. A separate place to smoke and play? We even did that. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel is the right size with the right people in the right location. Batavia Downs Gaming. Come here to dine, stay, and play.
We're in the home stretch of this one at Texas Motor Speedway, approaching 20 to go. Jeff Ledford has led the most laps in this one thanks to the long run that we have had here today. A reminder, our next race is the next week at Charlotte Motor Speedway for 120 laps. Start time at 7 p.m. right here on Slide Job Racing Network. Mark Morton, the driver, in second. He said that he had a car that was on rails, and then drivers pitted behind him. And guess what? That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Chris Melton underneath, who has 9 laps of fresher tires, moves up to P2. Now, if we do get a late race caution, let's go back to this pit strategy one more time. We had Jeff Ledford, who has made 3 pit stops. Melton's made 7, but a couple of his stops were for fuel only. Morton's had 2. Blank's had 4. Steele's had 3. A bunch have had 2 or 3 in this race. And if we do get a caution flag, everybody will be on pit road. But will it be for 2 tires or 4 tires is the question. Dalton Steele moments ago got past James Wagner for the 5th spot. Next driver in front of him is Jacob Plank for 4th. Now, if we were to get a yellow right now, your free pass driver would be Richard Hartman, the 3rd in the 52. Jeff Scott's 9.3 seconds behind him. Steven Shue's 11 seconds in front of him. That's just something to keep in mind. But remember, for Jeff Ledford, it was fresh tires that helped him get his first win at Auto Club. And it was a final pit stop in the final laps when we had a late race caution flag. But this time, it's just been the long run that's helped him out. Here we go for 3rd. Plank on Morton. Wow. Hit the easy button there. Don't know if you could hear that, but yes, I do have an easy button in my my sim rig. Did see Barney put the blue flag up, I believe, at some points. But Plank up to the 3rd spot. Paul Helms looking for 9th on Johnny Hurst. One of the later drivers to pit, and like I said, he will need a caution flag if he wants to get back in this race, but has this run been way too long enough to prevent him from getting back in this race at least? That we'll just have to see. Hurst led some of the race earlier, but used up too much of his tires from the looks of it, as he had lost a lot of ground to Ledford. You see Helms make the pass for 9th. But you gotta give it up, though, for what this race has produced today, racing-wise. You've had incredible races for the lead. In the long run, we've had great racing for 3rd on back. And it's been fun to watch. I do, though, I want to see these last 5 laps for Melton, just in case. He has been faster in the last 4. So he is catching him about 0.3 a lap. So he could be in striking distance in about 4 or 5 laps time. At the same time, though, he does have to deal with Plank for 2nd. They are still catching him. Let's show you this gap in a graph. There you go. How quick it's closing down for Ledford. Melton 2 laps of fresher tires compared to the leader. Plank 7 laps of fresher tires, in case you're keeping score at home. Ledford's going to need a caution the next few laps if he wants a better chance at winning than right now. Because look at this gap. It's gone down to 0.8 of a second, even while Melton and Plank are racing for second. And there's the caution. Johnny Hurst has crashed, ending the longest run of the race, and that is heavy front-end damage. And you're going to expect everybody to come down pit road this time. So look at what happened to the 58. He's by himself. Oh, did he touch the grass? Yeah, and he tried to hang on to it. Oh, that's a big hit. Right there in that dogleg part of the racetrack. Reminds me of the moment we lost Blaze Alexander over 20 years ago at Charlotte in 01. Let's get another shot of that in real time. Everybody's in. Everybody's on the pits. We'll watch the onboard in just a moment. But the money stop is underway. Who takes 4 and who takes 2? That's the question. Remember, Ledford has the pit stall at the back. So he's the first one on pit road. We'll then take a look at Morton. And this will give us a good glimpse of who will win this battle off the pits. Plank is out of the pits. Plank's going to win the race off pit road. 2 tire stop for him. Ledford, Melton, Morton, Steele, Casey on back, 4 tires. Paul Helms did not pit. Now, reminder, before that caution, he did have the freshest tires amongst the bunch. All right, let's go to the onboard we promised you. Johnny Hurst. Yep, caught the grass. And that is a heavy impact. Free pass, by the way, is going to be Richard Hartman as we see the rest of the lap cars come in. So the biggest disadvantage here is for Paul Helms. He does get the lead, but 21 laps of scuffs compared to the drivers behind him. Jacob Plank, 2 tires, would assume just the right sides. Will be outside of row 1. Ledford, Melton on back. All have 4 tires. And let's look at the scenarios here on each driver. Paul Helms, Jacob Plank looking for their first wins of the season. For Plank, looking to win in his second start. Ledford looking for win 2, part-time driver with the series. Melton looking for win 1 in his second start. Morton looking for win 2. Steele's tried everything to get win 1 on the season, and it just hasn't gone his way, and he's the points leader. Could extend the gap after today. We'll check the points when we are done. Michael Casey looking for win 3 of the season, which would be the most of any driver this year. James Wagner looking for, I believe, win 1. Hayton win 1. Hartman the 3rd win 1. Should be going 1 to green this time. Lights are off. So 4th, caution is out. And the race maybe is as aggressive as we've seen it. We're about to find out, though. Paul Helms and Jacob Plank, row 1. Jeffrey Ledford, Chris Melton, row 2. Mark Morton, Dalton Steele, row 3. Michael Casey, James Wagner, row 4. Brandon Hitton and Richard Hartman, the third, round out the top 10. Hitton by himself in row 5 with the lap car next to him, as Hartman is the wave around car. Lucky Dog starting at the back. Here we go, folks. 7 laps to determine the winner at Texas. Who's it going to be and how's it going to be done? Helms is the control car, may want to fire early, decides to go late, and we're back racing. And Plank timed the restart well. He led at the line. 2 tires the advantage and rolling better, coming back to the green flag, accelerating better. But look at this stack up off turn 2. Does anybody duck down 3 wide? Got some drivers going for it. Morin has to check up. Melton up the second. Contact with him in Steele. 4 wide around goes Helms. Steele caught up and it's got hard to the wall. Same with the 4 of Ramsey. We're not done yet. I told you it was going to get aggressive. That's what we saw. Helms took the risk. Didn't pay off. Believe Hurst was involved. Ramsey got a piece of it. And back-to-back late race incidents for the 45 of Steele. The heaviest crash we have seen tonight without question. I think Hurst is trying to give the 64 a lift back to the pits because look how bent that right front suspension is. Gonna watch in slow-mo, watch from our aerial shot, get you an idea on what happened. Let's rewind this back a little bit more, then go at quarter speed. It started into turn number 3. Watch Steele. He catches the bumper of Melton, and he has to back out of it briefly. And then that's where all the accordion happened. Helms catches Steele. Ledford with no room. I think the 01, though, was able to keep it straight, though, maybe with some bumper damage. And then everyone's trying to avoid this massacre. Scott. You saw Helms take the biggest hit of them all. Same with Scott. Vandenberg also involved. Hinton. Hartman having to go through the pits. And I don't think he hit the commitment line or hit the pit road speed line. But a savage crash in turn 4. Here's a look in real time. Oh, all 4 wheels off the ground for Dalton Steele. Here's a speed shot. That's when the stack up happened. It's tough to tell off that angle, but you could just barely see in the background all hell just breaking loose. Show you a couple onboards here. Let's ride on board first with Steele. Paul Helms is next. Jeff Scott's next. And finally, I want to watch Chris Ramsey. Well, we saw the big one break out. Will we see next time by? It'll be a green-white checker, not in overtime, though. And now here is the situation. Plank will lead us back to green. He has 2 tires, though. Everybody on back has 4 tires. And they are all fresh. It's the only time they've been up to speed have been for 3/4 of a lap. Lights are off. Front row looking for win 1 in their second start of the season. How sweet would it be for Wagner if he would take his first win. Ledford looking for win 2. Let's look at this front bumper closely, as we haven't seen too much of it. No damage on that 0-1. That's just 4X. He'll be good to go. Morton in 5th, looking for win 2. Dalton Steele restarting 8th. And with Casey Morton in front of him, that would be big to try and close down on the lead of the championship, as after today we'll have 3 races left. Plank and Melton, row 1. Wagner, Ledford, row 2. Morton and Casey, row number 3. Hartman and Steele, row 4. Hinton and the Jolly are 9th and 10th. Non-attempted overtime, but it's a green-white checkered with 2 laps to go. Barney's got the green and it's waving. Great jump from Plank. Will 2 tires pay off than 4? He's got Wagner and Melton clear. If they race for 2nd, that could help him out. However, Wagner's got the 49 clear. Jacob Plank, you've got company. He may have to do some blocking. And he does. Shuts the door on Wagner there. Shuts it twice. Morton and Melton slicing and dicing for 3rd. Plank's got a gap on the 30. Here they come off for 4. White flag is out. We're on the final lap. Melton around the outside of Wagner for 2nd. That's just what Plank wants to see in his rearview mirror. Down the back for the final time. Jacob Plank, his 2nd start of the season, the unsponsored 153, making its way off at turn number 4 to the checkers. Win number 1 to the 153. Jacob Plank wins Texas. Oh, big crash behind them. Ledford hard to the wall. Melton up in the air, and Helps is upside down. But how about it for Jacob Plank? First career win in the Gen 6. Again, as we mentioned, we did have that big crash on the final lap. Ledford was involved, as he was able to finish in 5th. We did have Paul Helms go upside down. We'll watch and see what happened in that wreck come to the checkers in just a moment, but as Plank does his burnouts, look at your top 10. Plank the winner in this one. Jeffrey Ledford, the dominant car of the day. Pit road strategy doesn't work to his advantage. Chris Melton with a great run as well. Dalton Steele able to finish 7th, but Morton and Casey did finish in front of him. So we'll check the point standings without the drops in effect as things would stand. Everything obviously unofficial in that case. Then here's a look at the rest of the field. Johnny Hurst finishing a couple laps down. But a great race in this one, that's for sure. And we'll get the top 3 all. We'll bring them all in here, so stand by for that. As we're going to set everything up here for you. Here comes James Wagner. In that 2nd spot so he can pose. As we just heard Plank cook the engine. Let's talk with Wagner, our 2nd place finisher. James, best finish of the season. What was your strategy going into that final restart?
I don't know, just really wasn't thinking, just go. That's all I thought.
Did you think you had something with Wagner pitting with 2 tires compared to your 4?
Now, what was that now? Come back with that.
Did you think you had a really good chance with Plank taking 4, going into the final restarts with Plank taking 2, you taking 4?
Yeah, I thought I had a good chance there, but I mean, congratulations to him, but it was a good race.
What do you take away from this run as a whole?
I don't really know right now. I'm just excited. Excited to some best finish this year, so I don't know.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I'd like to give a shout out to y'all guys for the broadcast and everything. SVT, for letting us run with them. Roughneck Racing, my father at James Wagner's Welding, all my teammates, Jeff, Mark, that was in here with me tonight, Jeff Lefford and Steven Shue. So that's about it.
All right, we're watching the crash as well on the screen. That was a wild finish to the end. Great job, great run, and hopefully we're talking to you next week.
Yep, I appreciate it.
And what an angle you see there of the carnage, all the debris flying on the racetrack. That sent Paul Helms on his lid. But we now go to Victory Lane to talk with your winner, Jacob Plank. You got a copy? Is this you?
Yeah, yep, I can hear you.
All righty. How does this feel? Welcome to Victory Lane.
Oh man, it feels pretty good. At the beginning of the race, I just knew there was going to be a lot of cautions because of how it kind of like the first 10, 15 laps drove like a super speedway. So I just kind of hung in the back and tried to save my tires. And then we got that long green flag run, which really, really helped me. I was able to get to the lead there by saving tires. And then I stayed out a little bit longer to have the fresher tires at the end. And then that caution came out that I really didn't want, but I'm not good at short runs at all. So I'm just happy to get this win off of that 3-lap run. I got 2 tires, gambled there, and it paid off.
Did you think anyone else would go with you on taking 2 tires?
I was surprised. Well, I mean, some of those guys came in on that green flag stop a little earlier than I did, so maybe they were thinking their lefts were kind of already shot. But mine weren't too bad at all. So, like I said, I knew clean air was going to be king, and I decided to take the 2, and it all worked out.
How are you going to celebrate this one tonight? What's the party going to be like?
Go home and maybe drink a couple cold ones.
Charlotte next week, how are you feeling going into that?
Pretty good. It probably won't have the tire fall off like Texas here, the old track. But just if we get good long green flag runs and I can do the same as I did tonight, we should be sitting pretty good.
Who do you want to go? Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Just the league here, the league guys, and you for broadcasting, and the league guys for putting these races on. This is my second one, and I'm having fun racing against these guys.
Congratulations. Enjoy this win. First time winner, Jacob Blank. Enjoy it, man. We're happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, as Plank gets it done, let's go back and show you as well the, actually, I want to see if we have Chris Melton with us. I don't believe we do, unfortunately. You obviously saw what happened at the, with this wild wreck. We thought this was the wildest wreck of the race that happened here. And yes, we're going to show it to you one more time. But now I'm going to show you the incident come to the checkered. Once again, from another angle. So Melton and Wagner. I think Morton just nipped the 49 and got the 30. The results obviously stand. And then it's on from here. The big licks that were taken. And here comes Helms. Oh, that's the biggest hit of them all. Right there. 49 goes up and over the 30 of Wagner. Couple onboards here with you coming to this checkered flag. We'll begin obviously with your winner in James Wagner. And that's when the camera went out on us. Let's go to Chris Melton. Watch his perspective. Everybody just trying to make it full throttle in the end. Let's go to Jeff Ledford. And he had a wild ride too. Also saw Dalton Steele take a hit. Let's ride on board with him. An idea on what he saw too. Wrong angle. This is it. This is the angle we want right here. Caught the back of Casey, which sent him into Morton. Man, it's like everybody wrecked coming to the end except for the leader. And then we will watch the flip with Paul Helms from his perspective. All he was focused about was staying on that throttle. I get it with it being the final lap. That's for sure. So, but man, what a race today at Texas Motor Speedway. Give it up for SVT Gen 6 Renegades. That is going to do it here for us tonight. Don't forget next week, Charlotte Motor Speedway for 120 laps, 7 p.m. on Slide Job Racing Network. On behalf of all the drivers, all the sponsors of SVT Renegade Racing League, I'm Marty Sakala saying so long. Jacob Plank's a first-time winner. So long.
We hope you enjoyed this evening's race, brought to you by Protexol. Congratulations to the winners, and good luck to everyone next Sunday. See you then.